The challenge with Iran is that you cannot forget that this is a state that is really two states. There's the traditional, there's a president who's elected, and this actually happens to be the quote, moderate, because, of course, they, eliminate some of the real moderates, the council that approves whether you can run or not. But he is, compared to the others that were running. There are ministries and ministers and Army, Navy, Air Force, and so forth. And that looks reasonable. And then you have, not always in rhetoric reasonable by any means, but then you have the deep state, and that is the Revolutionary Guards Corps. It's the Revolutionary Guards Corps Quds Force. They're expeditionary, they're overseas individuals carrying out often very nefarious activities. And it is the besieged militia that maybe as much as 1 million strong now, just got a new leader. They're the pipe swingers on the street. You're not going to see another color revolution on the streets of Tehran. That state has actually gotten stronger during the period of sanctions, and they have a huge grip on major sectors of the economy. And it's just hard to ever see how that would ever relax its control. And of course, it has the support of the supreme leader who's up here with some of the councils that surround him. The people over here, my experience with them, and I used to go to the border with Iran a fair amount to check on security. There were a variety of initiatives we had up there. And there are tens of thousands of religious tourists pouring through these borders on a daily basis into Iraq, because the two holiest cities, Najaf and Karbala, and then also Khatamiya, are there. By the way, the first two were liberated by the 101st Airborne Division when I was privileged to command in the fight to Baghdad. Air assault. So I really think that this administration worked very, very hard to try to build bridges, to try to establish reasonable dialogue. Maybe it's just our perspective, but I certainly don't think that we were asking for a great deal. But clearly, Iran is bent on achieving a degree of regional hegemony, at the very least achieving solidifying a Shia crescent that runs from Tehran through Baghdad to Damascus and then down into southern Lebanon, Lebanese Hezbollah, and increasing their control in the political process in Lebanon, trying to some degree to Lebanonize Iraq, as the great ambassador Ryan Crocker used to put it, with perhaps the popular mobilization forces, these Shia militia that are funded, trained, equipped, armed by Iran, with the Quds Force commander actually on the ground, in some cases giving advice, doing selfies with the troops and so forth. And that's very, very worrisome. By the way, they're led by individuals in several cases who were in our detention facilities because of murdering our soldiers on the battlefield in particularly horrific ways. And they're now actually members of parliament. So, welcome to the land of the two rivers. My home for 4 years in a place that correctly, as one prime minister told me when I was leaving after my 3-star tour, you may leave Iraq, but Iraq will never leave you. And it is a place that there's certain very, very special attributes, again, to the land of the Tigris and Euphrates, but there are also some pretty maddening aspects to it, too.
Good evening, General, and thank you for your service.